speed. Live it.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl Vita Guerra, living the low life.
Today on Livin' the Low Life, it's stunning show cars known as trailer queens.
That's one thing you got to decide if you're going to build a car. Do you want a street car or do you want a show car?
I see why you win, because I haven't seen a car like this.
We try to be different than everybody else.
If you really care and work hard for your paint job, and it is a nice paint job, you should be a trailer queen too, because you got to hide it under a tree. You don't want that stuff to fade.
It doesn't make sense to have all that money tied up in the car and just trailer it around.
Tradition of lowriding started on the streets, and that was where the show was at, was on the street.
Even if people say it's just a trailer baby, hey, it's my trailer baby.
Stop the tune, but don't stop the beat. It's showtime.
Lowriding is a lifestyle in the family and in the streets, but it also lives in the world of show car competitions.
Old school race.
Trailer queens are transported show cars, judged on their perfection and over-the-top beauty.
They spend lots of money on tires and wheels, interiors, engines, paint, everything.
That's jazz.
Murals and the fur interiors and the bars and all that.
They know how to do it, and they do it right.
Some are pure artwork, and others have actually turned their tires.
A lot of the cars, they're drivable. I'm not gonna say they're street cars, but they're drivable.
It's showtime.
Drivable, and man, are they clean.
Got show cars, anything that's cleaned up, real dangerous to drive them because, road hazards, stuff like that. Trailer them out here. This way everything stays nice and clean, beautiful.
It's a lot of money you put into these cars, man, and anything can happen. Anybody can scratch it, you take it to a store, a rock chip.
You have to make a choice.
One thing you got to decide if you're going to build a car. Do you want a street car or do you want a show car? Everybody finds out you can't do both.
This much work deserves its own trailer.
They came from somewhere. They graduated to get to that level. They got tired of driving down the streets and getting pulled over all the time where my cylinder's leaking or battery acid all over my pants. We got involved in competition. We took it to another level. If you powder coat your frame, if you get a nice paint job, you're almost like a trailer queen because you don't want to bring it out. You don't want that stuff to fade.
In lowriding, trailer queens aren't for everybody.
It doesn't make sense to have all that money tied up in the car and just trailer it around.
Those who compete see it another way.
A lot of guys that complain about the trailer queens, not to really talk bad about their vehicles, but they're not at this caliber. A lot of times they're drivers, they do not get on jack stands, they're afraid to get on jack stands. They don't throw mirrors like we do. We'll throw mirrors at any show. Any show, we'll get up on mirrors, jack stands, we got nothing to hide. When they come to a real show like this, they'll know what it means. It's a lot of work. It took me most of all Saturday just to clean underneath, put the mirrors and stuff. And if you drive it out in the street all the time, it's gonna take you 2 to 3 days to clean all that.
I just drive it up the trailer, even if people say it's just a trailer baby, hey, it's my trailer baby.
Still, others say you have to be driving.
The majority of us miss this street game too. And we come back and get a second. If we're lucky, we get a third car, and we're back because we all like that ride. Everybody has. A true lowrider, hey, it's all about hearing those 520s rolling around. You can hear the pavement just tear them up.
You still got to get that satisfaction when you're driving it. You get in and put your CD in, And you get that, that's the whole point, is that feeling, you know, it's when you're driving down the road and you're listening to your oldies, and you know, there's nothing like it, you know.
Today we're checking out those incredible transporting show cars they call trailer queens.
Yeah, it might take a trailer to get it to the show, but it also takes a lot of hard work. And some are worthy of a museum.
I'm here at the Peterson Museum in Los Angeles, surrounded by beautiful lowrider cars. They're definitely works of art.
It's called Orgullo Mexicano, or Mexican Pride, and it's incredible.
This car is very, very detailed, and I mean, people out there want to know everything that you've done to the car.
Well, the first time it was looking like a regular 79 Monte Carlo, and then we started making a bunch of upgrades, depending how the competitors were catching up. And like you see right now, it's a handmade frame. It's the first car that is completely electronic. You actually drive it with a switch. You start to drive it with a steering wheel. It's a Jaguar differential.
Oh, there's no steering wheel, so you drive with a switch?
Yeah, it's electronic. That's the first and only car that I know on lowriders.
So, how do you know to go straight and make it go? Is with the hydraulics or?
No, it's a electronic motor.
Electronic motor?
Yeah. This car is actually made just straight for shows.
Just for shows?
Yeah, this is the one of the cars that they win 3 times the car of the year.
Oh, wow. Tell me more about the paint and the painting that you have on the hood of the car, inside the hood.
This car is made just for shows, and it's actually what it requires to get the points. Most of the things that I do in this car is to get more points out of the score sheets that we go for.
It looks like Aztec.
Yeah, it's like you see the mirror on there, that's an Aztec girl, and everything is related. We actually went through websites and searched, and from the mirrors to, you see the seats, they got a pyramid, the style. This car, since 2001, we never lose an engraving.
Yeah, it's very, very detailed.
It's one of the cars that has most unique engraving. Everything goes with the theme of the car.
It took a lot of hours, right? And how many guys?
We're actually about 6 guys that we work most of the time on it.
I see why you win, because I haven't seen a car like this.
We try to be different than everybody else. Try to do something new every time that we bring it out.
Back at this car show in San Bernardino, California, you'll find museum displays of the future. Orgullo Mexicano raised the bar, and others try to reach that status, like this radical Cadillac that goes by the name of Game Over, a ride that's earned its own trailer.
If I put a lot of money into a car and I'm gonna go to a show 2-3 hours away, I'm gonna put it on a trailer. Because, I mean, it's hard-earned money, it's like blood and sweat. You put too much into it to want to risk something happen to it, going down the highway, going down a road. What if there's construction? I mean, you don't want gravel coming up in your car. When you build a car of that caliber, it's for competition. And you want to be ready for any show.
They're called trailer queens because they're royal rides with their own mobile homes. These low-riding show cars share the competition floor with trucks that are just as stunning.
I found this truck, this 84 Nissan pickup truck, mini truck. Bought it, had it painted, had it striped. Me and my son did the interior.
Some are so modified, it's hard to believe they actually started as old factory trucks.
It used to be a 5-window Chevy truck. We shopped it, lowered the window 3 inches, made it a convertible. On the fenders, we put 1959 Caddy lights. We split the tailgate. We made it a see-through. You name it, we did it.
Javier and Angel Gonzalez did it too, bringing their 65 Chevy pickup. It's a truck that morphs from one shape into another.
The transformer transforms. When he got it, he was just a regular, everyday driver. And then things just kept changing, kept fixing it up a little nicer every time. And to the point where he didn't want to drive it anymore, couldn't, because straight show.
Angel, Javier, can you tell me a little bit about this truck? It's El Jefe, right?
Yeah.
What is it? It's a 65?
65, a Chevy truck.
Where and when did he find the truck and what shape was it in?
Lo agarré de un tío, que lo tenía como de yonke para tirar basura, en el 98.
His uncle had it in 98. He got it
In Tijuana?
In TJ. And his uncle would use it as a scrap truck. He used to pick up junk. Bought it from his uncle, paid $1,000 for it, brought it down here.
So what made you want to turn it into a show car opposed to having a car that you can drive?
Satisfacción de poder ganar todo lo más posible.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says he likes the satisfaction of putting the car as a show car and winning, because that's like a trophy for him. How many awards has this car won?
40.
40?
First place, all first place too.
First place and best shows.
All right, high five. The truck is called the Jefe, which means the boss, and apparently...
El Jefe.
El Jefe. My Spanish is bad. So does he get a lot of slack from other people that have lowriders and it's like, well, we drive our cars and you don't drive your cars, or no?
Not really, no, because he does pull it in and pulls it out, but I mean, nonetheless, he takes it home on a trailer.
Thank you for showing me your car. It's a beautiful car. Keep winning, you know?
First place.
Yes.
Yeah. Right.
And then next time I talk to you, you're gonna tell me I've won 80, you know?
Every ride has a story, but most don't have a story like this truck.
It's actually a 57 Chevy custom cab.
It's called Angel Baby.
Actually, Angel Baby, it stands for my son, baby Eric. He was actually killed in 1999 by a drunk driver. And when that happened, I kind of went back and fell into a dark world. And then, my family tried to get me out of it, and I just figured I had to do something. So I found, this truck, and I just put a lot of heart into it, and I knew I was making it for him, and I wanted to make a point across not to drink and drive, and show what can happen, because he was only 8 years old. And, I never thought I could pull through that, but I did through this,
And it's not just a show truck.
No, these are drivers, like me, I live in Vegas, so, I'll trailer to over here, but when back in Vegas, I drive it. I drive it every day, jump on the freeway, lock it up,
Every day, it gets more competitive.
Competition's really, really hard, especially here.
And when guys show up with trucks like this, it's easy to know why.
It started off in a dream I had a long time ago. I was about 13, looking at the elite cars, and when I was old enough to buy a truck, I bought it with the intentions of making a radical truck. Since it was taken apart, I started chroming parts, and little by little, it started taking shape and into what I thought I could build.
It has gull-wing doors.
We wanted to do something that, represented the engineering on the Mercedes. We also lifted the bed, kind of like a dump bed, but we put some custom scissors on it. And we also lifted the cab. The cab can lift about 12 inches off of the frame, and put a LT1 in there.
It's been named Lowrider Truck of the Year.
I have no intentions of driving it. It was built just for show.
We're looking at show cars known as trailer queens, but they don't all have trailers.
Many of the show cars here didn't arrive on their own four wheels. That's not the case for a show car driving club called the Stylistics. This club cruises and competes at shows.
We're very dedicated to the streets. Yes, we like to come to the shows. That's how we fix our cars. We like to fix them up, chrome in the carriage. Most of us are painted belly, suspension, engine, trunk. We drive them pretty much every weekend. We're hitting Whittier Boulevard.
The real reason of a lowrider is to be on the streets where the people can see you. Because the shows, yeah, it's part of lowriding now, but the tradition of lowriding started on the streets, and that was where the show was at, was on the street to be seen by your friends and car club members.
Personally, but me, driving, hitting the hydraulic, hitting the switches. That's part of us. Enjoy the car,
And they enjoy cruising Whittier Boulevard, a tradition that goes back many generations.
course, it's hard to maintain them to the level that we have them. You know, you're gonna get scratches, chips, you know, when you're driving them. But you know, you just gotta keep them maintained, clean them every weekend. While you're cleaning them, you gotta clean them a couple hours, you know, every weekend. So you gotta love this to not lose your patience, you know.
These go-karts, you get problems. You'll be driving, sometimes the carburetor or something, you know, something always happens.
It's a maintenance. It's high maintenance cars. If you love this, you gotta put up with it. You know, sometimes it gets kind of frustrating after a while, but when you get used to it, you get used to it. This is what you want to see. Here you go, street trailer queens.
No doubt, you have got to love that vehicle.
It's hard because it's a high maintenance car. You know, you always have to put money into them. You drive, for example, tonight when I get home, for sure I'll find something to do tomorrow on it, you know, or on the weekend when I have time. And it's always a couple hours that you're there cleaning up the car, cleaning it underneath, you know, make sure, you know, whatever leaks, you know, whatever it is, you know, you're wiping it down, so forth and so forth. But you gotta love it too, you know, so you won't really complain about how much money you're putting into it.
This club is a family.
I love everybody that's in it. I love everybody that's helped me out with the car. We're very united. We're a small club, but 4 or 5 cars going to all those lowrider shows, we come home with 3 or 4 winners.
I'm not really into winning or trying to compete, you know. It's about contributing to with the club and represent the club, a co-member or anything like that wins it. You know what? It's we all winning.
Everybody wanna be a superstar. If you kiss the right ass, you can go real far.
Some call low riding show cars trailer queens, and some say the name doesn't tell the whole story.
Creating a show-worthy car and not driving it? That's the dilemma of a trailer queen.
Trailer queens is kind of like a bad word. I hit the streets most of my life. I had to get a second car, and I wasn't fortunate back then. I had to go out there and earn what I wanted. And there's a lot of guys out there, trailer queens, but I ask you, before you even use that name on anybody, find out their history first to see where they came from. They don't just bounce into that.
They all have a story.
I've been working on it for about 8 years. Money-wise, we got over $50,000 in it, and still putting in more.
If you really want to compete, you just make sure your car's in top shape. You know, if there's something you think needs to be done, and you can take it to the Super Show, it needs to be done, because I guarantee you, your competitor is actually going to get that thing done to his car plus one more.
When you look at these rides, one thing is clear. This is an art form, and whether the tires hit the pavement or not, this crew continues to raise the bar for all lowriders.
It's a trailer queen when my wife starts bugging me about the air conditioning.
It's actually more of a thrill that you can drive it and display it, you know, like this. You know, that's a challenge.
I don't want to put $100,000 into a car with all engraving underneath, you know, just fully all out, and if I'm not gonna enjoy it. This is the one I drive every weekend, you know, and I enjoy it.
The thing about lowriding itself is that if you look at other automotive motorsports, they're weekend hobbies. When it comes to lowriding itself, these guys are actually, it's a lifestyle. They come home after work and they work on their cars. They get with their clubs. They get together, they help build other cars.
It all boils down to living and loving the low life.
I'ma quote my homeboy G. Just dipping in the car, you know, whether you got a rag or you got your Chevy with the moon roof open, you know, cutting on the oldies. That's the best thing about low riding to me.
Yeah, he said it all. I think that's right. You know, we like low riding, you know, it's a lifetime thing, you know, to us, you know what I'm saying?
It's a lifetime commitment.
Exactly.
Well, all those guys are kings when it comes to cool cars. But you know, the one in charge is the trailer queen. See you next time.
We out here kicking it at the lowrider show, you know what I'm saying? Coming deep like always, doing what we gotta do and representing the M and the streets also. first and foremost is the streets. Then we come to the shows and do what we do best, you know what I'm saying?
From the streets to the show.